of these. The first one, D. I feel like folks feel kind of okay with that. I'm hoping at this point. So this I'm going to rewrite it as a radical. What goes inside the little 3? 8 squared. So 8 squared is 64. What multiplied by itself 3 times gives me 64? 4. Great. This one's different. What goes inside of here is negative 8 squared. What's negative 8 squared? 64. And that also equals 4. This one in the middle is different because the negative's on the outside. Not inside where the square root is, it's on the outside. So it stays on the outside, so it doesn't get squared. It just 2 gets squared, which is 4. The negative's is on the outside here. Whereas here, the negative's on the inside, it's right inside with the 8. Good? That's why those two are different. This next one down here, and some of you have some homework that will make you know that difference. This one here, 5 on the outside, and then I have my little radical with the 3 in the crook, negative 8 squared inside. Negative 8 squared is 64 like we found earlier.
You have to put the parentheses around the negative 8, or it doesn't matter?
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's something acting on it. Is there something acting on the negative 8? Yes, the 2/3. The 2 is. So anytime you have something acting on it, let's see. I don't have any situations where it's not like that. Anytime you have something acting on the negative 8, what's acting on it? The 2/3. If I move it into here, is there something acting on it? Yeah, the 2. So you can't remove this, the parentheses, because you have something being multiplied in front or something raised to a power.
So
those are the rules. You can remove parentheses when there's nothing acting on it. When there's nothing being multiplied in front or nothing being raised to the power. Those are the only times otherwise you cannot remove them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so here, what's negative 8 squared? 64. And we now all know by now that, cube root of 64 is 4, so 5 times 4, 20. Okay, this one over here is a little more complicated. So let's split them into pieces. I'm going to leave the 9 on top and the 100 on the bottom. So everybody do your radical. What goes here, what goes there? 9 to the something. Figure out. So figure out what this is, what that is, what this is, and what that is. Fill in those blanks, those 4 blanks. Don't draw the circles, put a number in for the circles. So you should not be drawing the circles. You should be putting something into these circle spots. Okay, so what goes inside these boxes? It's a 2 on the bottom, so the 2's go in there. 3 on top, so 3's go here. All right. 9 to the, and you could put parentheses around it because the 3's acting on it. That's totally fine. That would absolutely work. I'm okay with that. Okay. So here's the thing. See how the 3 is inside where the 9 is? I can also write 3 on the outside of this instead. And in this case, I might want to do that because These are going to get to be really big. Well, we can do it either way. You know what? We'll stick with this way. This is fine. Everybody do 9 to the 3rd power on your calculator.
729.
729, and then square root it on your calculator.
Oh, so in that case, you can use it. The calculator
Yeah.
can
Oh, I
square
see what you're saying. Yeah, because we said not to.
it. Yeah.
Okay, so here, let me give you a little hint. This I'm going to write it the other way. And I'm going to put the 3 on the outside. So here, see how the 3's on the inside here? It could go, I could put it on the total outside as well, either one. It could either be inside here or it could be outside there. You can move it either place. So you can either look at it as 9 to the 1/2 to the 3rd, right? Square root of 9 to the 3rd, or 9 to the 3rd square rooted. You can do it either direction. This one's easier to do mentally because we all know the square root of 9. What's the square root of 9? We all know the square root of 100. What's the square root of 100? 10. So that makes it easier to do mentally without using your calculator. If I did it that way, then this would just be 3 to the 3rd and 10 to the 3rd. So what's 3 times 3 times 3? Yeah. What's 10 times 10 times 10? 1,000. Yep. It's 3 zeros. So then you can do it in your head. This way allows you to do it in your head. If you do the square root part first. So I will give you a hint for I. If you've done H, you don't need to do any more work to do I. Everybody check with your neighbors. Everyone think about how can you do I knowing what you got for H. Think about it for 15 seconds. What could you do for I knowing what you got for H already? Okay, everybody check with your neighbors. See if you can figure it out.
That's what I
Flip it, so what are you flipping?
What do you think?
You flipping the 9 and the 100, you flipping the 2 and the 3, or you flipping nothing?
The answer was the last one.
This one I got 0.27.
So this actually was never going to be split it up, right? So it would be 9 on top of the negative exponent, put 9 on the bottom. And then 100 on the bottom of the negative exponent, put on the top. So it'd be 100 over 9, and 2 over 100 over 9.
Yeah.
So when she says flip,
Oh, thanks.
You just flip it.
Oh, that's still on.
Flip it.
I'm not sure, am I flipping just this, am I flipping this?
You're,
Am I flipping this?
so it's basically 9 to the negative 3 over 2 divided by 100 to the negative 3 over 2.
Yeah, that's
So,
what you got, I knew the
So,
answer.
like when she says flip,
That's
I'm
what
just
this is
not
like.
sure. Is
This is the steps along the way.
it
Yes.
still this?
No, then it would be positive
That's just the
2.
beginning, I thought that.
Because you flipped it, so now that gets rid of your
Yeah,
negative.
this is, you did go down. You're using the one.
Yeah.
I get confused on what.
Okay, so this one, negative exponent means we move it to the other side. So this is the same thing as 100 on top,
27 on 100 and then I decided,
9 on the bottom,
uh,
2 to the 3 halves. So if the 100's on top and the 9's on the bottom, it's the same thing, only here I'm going to end up with 1,000 on the top, the 27 on the bottom. Are people good with this part? All right, so bust out your calculators or your phones. We're going to move on to these. This is super quick and easy.
So you leave the fraction on the last two, or do you divide and get a decimal?
The last two?
You divide
No, I'll leave it as a fraction. Just leave it as a fraction.
Because
Yeah.
it's really 27 divided by 1,000 or 1,000 divided by 27.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
Just leave it there, though.
Leave it there.
Don't take it a step further.
Done.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, good. So, we're gonna use our calculators to evaluate these. We have them all, you all have them. Everyone has a calculator? Should I use, I'll see if I can use my basic calculator from my phone. Okay, so here's my basic calculator. If I maybe swipe this way, swipe that way.
Try turning it to the side.
Yeah, I was hoping not to do that. All right, so if I tilt it this way, then you get all sorts of cool stuff, right?
Yeah, we get the same too.
So here you have all the square roots and the raising. So this little arrow, we call it a caret. This fellow right here, that raises something to the power. I'm going to need my parentheses in order to do this. So the first one, 12 raised to the 1/3, 12 raised to the, everybody with me on this part, on your calculators?
Well, mine doesn't have that, so.
Your phone doesn't have that?
No, I think it has this, something's different. It's
This
like
is
one of
iPhone.
these.
Oh, the A to the X?
Here,
So-
grab an iPhone
so-
if you want.
Mine
So
doesn't
yeah,
have
so
that
the
either.
iPhone, you would do the A to the X part. So mine, I would do, I'm going to do this. Parentheses,
Oh, the X to the 2 or the X
hold
to
on,
the
we'll
Y?
stop.
Oh.
1 divided by 3. Okay, so that's my phone. If you have an iPhone, you would do this instead. You have this, right?
Yeah,
So it's 12,
You're gonna wanna clear it. See, yeah.
12, and then it's, do you see where it says X to the Y?
oh yeah.
Right here? X to the Y.
And then you enter the next number.
Can I go 1/3?
One.
Parentheses, 1 divided by 3. What I would say instead is, who has a TI 83 or 84 calculator?
Yeah.
Or sorry, or a TI 30. Use that instead. That's way better.
TI 30.
TI 30, perfect. Then you have the
This thing?
raising, yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you have, an 83, 84, or 30?
The calculator?
Yeah,
None.
okay, I thought you said you had one. Okay, so the TI 30 will be similar to this one, I think. It'll have that little caret symbol. Right, you folks should have that little, well, you know what, I'll just do this. All right. So TI 30 will be similar, 12 raised to that. And again, you're going to want to put parentheses around it, around the 1/3,
How do you do it? 1/3?
1/3, in parentheses. 1 divided by 3.
Oh, divided by, not slash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean,
Right, so then, so that should be your first one. All right, so it has that first one written in, you have your answer written in. And then here's 1,000. Thousands is the third decimal place. And then let's look at B. 12 raised to the parentheses negative 1/3. If you have a TI 83, 84, Deja, your negative symbol is down here at the bottom. You can't use the minus symbol. You got to use down, right down here at the very, very bottom next to the enter key. You have to use that for your negative. Negative 1 divided by 3. Just leave those on for the next 10 minutes because you're going to need it.
Just the fogging,
Oh,
I can only, it keeps fogging up on me, so that's why I keep taking them off.
So this will end up being,
I just don't know how to do this.
For F is 5T. Is the G supposed to be, to not be there?
Oh, yeah, the G should be multiply, so that should not be a G for F. Okay, so are folks sort of, I guess, it seems like people are kind of cruising along with this, yeah? No? Okay, so we'll kind of break into groups, and we'll go through these separately.
So if I calculate it,
Yeah, it's depending on the calculator.